What is good, YouTube? Today what we will be doing is installing the OEM Fog-light on a 2019 Acura TLX. Why do I need a fog light? I don't, but I'm gonna be installing one anyway. I always like the look of fog lights. I'm gonna be installing it here today on my Acura TLX. All right, so when you purchase this, this is the box that you'll receive it in. This is the part number that I received, and then 210A. When you do order this kit, you will receive everything that you'll need, well, almost everything that you'll need. You'll receive the OEM fog lights. You'll receive the bezel to install that fog light on the kit. This is the other fog light over here. The bezel for that as well, and then also the installed components, which includes the wiring harness, the relays, as well as, of course, you'll need the switch to install, to turn the fog lights on and off. What I do recommend you also do is download and print out the install instructions for this kit. What I didn't know at first is that you'll also need to purchase the cover kit, which I did. You see the part number is 08V31TZ3 210B, right and left. And this is what the bezel looks like. This is for the left side, I believe. As you can see, I got mine glossy. I got it off eBay. I did match the parts to make sure everything fit, and hopefully everything fits. So that's the unboxing. Precaution, I purchased the little clip for the temp sensor just in case I do break it while installing the bezel. If I don't use it, I'll just sell it on eBay. Alright, so for the next step, you'll need to be in the car. What we're going to be installing first is going to be the lever. As you can see, this one has the off and on switch. What you'll need for this installation will be a screwdriver. I have a extremely long one, and I have my little electric one right here. What you'll also need is panel poppers. What you're going to use this panel poppers is to remove the plastic cover from behind the steering wheel. So per the instructions, it wants you to turn the car on as well as put the steering wheel down and pull it out. I already did that. So the first step is to turn the steering wheel this way, and what you'll do is put one of the panel poppers in this groove and pop that one side. So as you can see, popped it right there. I did that right there. And then what I want you to do, turn it all the way around and pop it on the other side. It looks like it's already popped, but I'm gonna put my panel popper in there anyway, and it should pop up just like it just did that way. So it should not pop up this way. And the next step is to remove the screws, the self-tapping screws on both sides. So there's one here, and there's gonna be one on the other side. So let me do that right now. Alright, so I've removed the self-tapping screws on both sides, and there's gonna be another screw that's gonna be below the steering wheel column. You're gonna have to remove that as well. So let me go ahead and remove that. Alright, so once you've gone underneath the steering wheel and remove the screw, the next step is going to be to kind of remove the plastic covers that's right here. Alright, as you can see, I got the plastic completely down, and one of the steps, the step after this is to go into the engine bay and disconnect the negative from the battery. Not exactly sure why, but that's the step, so I'm gonna do it. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't, well, I already know how to remove the negative off a battery, so I won't record that. All right, so once the power is disconnected, What you're gonna have to do is remove this lever right here, but you will have to disconnect the little connector back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the connector, and then you will have to remove the lever by using these pins. I'll show you that one. Let me disconnect the connector. So once you disconnected the connector, there's 2 tabs to the top and to the bottom to remove the lever. Just like that, pops right out. Then you just do it in reverse. Gonna pop the new lever switch back in. And already just like that, switch is in. And connector is connected. And you're basically going to just reattach everything back in, put in 2 tap screws, and put in the plastic pieces back together. But let me test it before I put everything back together. So I reconnected the battery, and I'm just going to test the switch to make sure it turns on, which it does. Cool beams, that's high beams, of course. This won't work because I don't have it installed yet. So let me put everything back together and I'll meet you guys in the front. All right, so the next steps will be to remove the front bumper so that we can get the bezels out and install the fog light and the wiring and whatnot. So the first step is going to be to remove this plastic. The way you're going to do that is going to remove this plastic tab and these 2 tabs for the air ram. And once you do remove those 2, it pops right out. And then there's going to be 2 bolts underneath this plastic piece to remove. I'll show you that. So let me get that started. All right, so I've gone ahead and removed the 3 clips. What you're going to do, you're going to pull up on this. You can set this aside for right now. I'll just put this here. And what you're going to do, you're going to pull this up. We heard it clip in, don't worry. That's just all the clips that's holding it down. So let me remove this, and then I'll show you the 2 bolts that's underneath. Okay, now that the plastic piece is removed, I'm gonna remove 1, 2 bolts. Oops, sorry. These 2 bolts, and once you do that, we will have to move to the inner well, where there's some screws on the inside that you need to remove. 1 here, and there's supposed to be 1 here. And then same for the other side. So let me go ahead and remove those bolts. So I did forget to show that you do need to remove these 2 plastic tabs as well when you're doing this. So I'll go ahead and do that too. So I have gone ahead and removed all the screws from the top and from the sides, the inner tire wells. That's a quick tip. One of the future steps is to disconnect the negative from the battery. I already went ahead and do that, so you could do that now before you get underneath the car. Underneath the car, there's going to be 6 bolts and 4 clips to remove. I'll show you that. Let me get underneath the car and I'll show you that. So let me do that. So now that I'm underneath the car, it's supposed to have 6 bolts and 2 clips underneath the whole car that you need to remove. I think the clips that the screws are screw 1, screw 2, and screw 3. There's supposed to be a total of 4 clips, which is gonna be, one is supposed to be here, and the other one was supposed to be here, but I don't have them because I guess this bumper wasn't put back properly. So, and it's gonna be the vice versa on the other side. So let me go ahead and get those bolts removed, and then I'll show you the next steps. So what I went ahead and did anyway is remove these 2 screws. I don't really want to come back underneath this car if I don't have to, so I just removed all 3 of the screws that was right here. So let's go to the other side. All right, so all screws are removed. Now we can remove the bumper. So let me set back up to do that. Another tip, while you're underneath the car, it makes sense to go ahead and remove this ambient sensor now, because you'll have to remove it anyway. When removing a bumper, since I am by myself, it's gonna be a lot easier if I do this now. So I'll go ahead and do that too. So that's a quick tip for you guys. So while you're underneath the bumper, just do that. It's underneath the right side of the car. So we are at the point where we can now start removing the front bumper. Everything is removed. So what we're gonna do is start from the corner of the bumper, pull it forward. You'll hear like that. Don't worry, it's not breaking. There's just clips in there that's holding it together. And you're gonna continue doing it on this side, and vice versa for the right side, that's left side as well. And just like that, the front bumper is out. So I probably need to move that out the charger because I need a better workspace. But what you need to do to remove this is there's 3 screws. There's 1, 2, and 3. There's also plastic tabs right here. You also need to remove this. I heard they're very difficult on the bottom. I'll see. You also need to remove your temp sensor as well. Luckily, hopefully I don't break the plastic tab that's holding it in. If I do, I have an extra one, so I'm not worried. Same thing on the other side, 1, 2, and 3. Remove that, release the plastic tabs, and it pops out. All right, so I finally got it out. I gotta tell you guys one thing. These clips are super annoying to remove on the front bumper. So the accessories, these clips is super easy to remove, but when it comes to these, oh my God, these are hard. But don't forget when you're removing it to also get these clips. I didn't even see this clip over here. So make sure you get that clip and pop it out. One tip when trying to get this removed is when it's in, you wanna get one of these panel popper tools, you really force it in there, and you shove this down like this. It's gonna, and then when you get that done, you get that leverage, you pull it out. Alrighty, so next steps what we will be doing is installing the components in before we install the fog light. So put those in really quickly. Alright, so I got all the bezels installed now with the 3 screws. Next, what you will have to do is get the bracket to put on each side. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna take the left bezel for the headlight, for the fog light, facing this way. We're gonna use 3 self-tapping screws and one of the clips to install that here. So let me go ahead and install. All right, so once that is done, you see it's fully installed with the 3 screws. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side with the other bezel. So I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, so got those installed. The next steps will be to install the fog lights into the bezels themselves. I'm gonna do that on both sides. It's only gonna need 6 screws, 3 on each side. So I'm gonna go ahead and install those now. Okay, so now the fog lights are fully installed. Now let's go ahead and install the ambient sensor back into the fog light, because we'll have to start this before we do everything else. So that goes installed right here, so you could intake the temperature right here. So the next steps will be installing the wiring harness into the bumper. I won't record this, probably don't make any sense to do so, so I'll show you how it's wired after I'm finished. Okay, so now I have the wiring harness fully installed. The clips go right into the bezel of the fog light holders. So one connects here, 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 and here. And then they give you 2 aluminum tapes to use to tape down in the middle. What I did to clean this, I first used spray on wash, clean that thoroughly with this, dry it with this. Then I took some rubbing alcohol and I cleaned it up one more time, and I wiped it down one more time. So then this clip goes here. As you can see, the sensor is installed. One clip goes here, 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 here. Then I plugged it into the fog light. That's it for the front bumper. Also, what it's asking me to do is use one of the wiring straps that came with the kit to tie down this strap right here. This is what it looks like in the bag. It has one of those tabs where it secures the tab. So this is completed. What we need to do now is go towards the air box and remove that and find the dummy connector to plug into this connector right here. And also with that dummy connector, we'll be using this harness to connect directly into the dummy harness right here. Using this plug, and then this will connect directly to this plug right here. So you also need to ground it. So let's go ahead and go on the airbox side and get that worked. So we're here by the airbox. So I was kind of having a hard time removing the airbox, so I kind of left it in because I saw the connector right here. So this is a 2-pin connector right here. I don't know if you can see it. There's a connector right there. It's currently connected to the dummy connector. What you have to do is cut the tape and remove the dummy connector, and then you'll be using this ground right here to connect the harness B2. So let me try to get that done. Hopefully I can get this without removing the airbox. If not, I'll remove the airbox and go from there. Right, so I've gone ahead and connect the cable to the dummy right there. Then I grounded right here with the other cables. Let me put this back together and test it out, and hopefully everything works. So after installing the airbox, the next step would be to installing the relay. The relay goes into the fuse box that's located right behind the intake. Zoom out. So there's 2 clips. 1, 2. So according to the instructions, they wanted me to install the fuse right here. So if you look at the fuse box, it went in this back corner right here. My finger is pointing. So I guess right now is the moment of truth. All right, this is what it looks like. All right. Let's put this thing together and see if it works. Hopefully. Alright, you guys, so this is how it looks with the OEM fog lights. Make sure to drop a like.